Just reading the words in this injunction, a, quote, massive effort by the defendants to suppress speech based on content, those are the judge's words, calling the present case, quote, arguably involves the most massive attack against free speech in the United States history, Ellie.
Yeah. We just celebrated July 4th here in America. We just celebrated the nation's independence. We just celebrated what arguably is the holiday that shows that America is exceptional. Yet, now it seems that people are embracing the unexceptional or inexceptional, whatever case, whatever word you want to use. Instead of raging against the machine, we are seeing the liberal sports media raging with the machine. So Mark Zuckerberg just launched his new threadsapp yesterday, and given everything you know about the censorship and what Zuckerberg did to censor people in America and what he continues to do to censor people in America, you would think that some of the brightest minds in journalism would know, hey, don't go flocking to Threads. Threads is going to be nothing but a censored, govern me harder application. They don't care. They want to be governed harder. They want to be subject to raging with the machine. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I wouldn't subject myself to it. But for some reason, it's happening throughout liberal sports media. They do not have your best interests at heart. They're basically being Judas goats. They are leading you to the slaughter by saying, hey, come on over to Threads. We got something for you. It's going to be great. Just jump in here and let Mark Zuckerberg and all his buddies use your data. Come on in here and let Zuck tell you what you should know, what you ought to know, not what you want to know. We'll go ahead and censor things so that you only see what we want you to see. Is that what sports journalism is supposed to be about? I don't think so. So I'm going to start here. We're going to go through this video that played on CNN yesterday, and it's striking. It's absolutely amazing. And once you see this video, you're going to understand why I think the sports journals out there are nothing but Judas goats. So let's take a listen to what was said on CNN after the ruling by the federal judge that said, hey, Biden administration, no more colluding with big tech to censor Americans. Check this out.
Trump-appointed judge, but this judge was confirmed 98-0 by the Senate. Just reading the words in this injunction, a, quote, massive effort by the defendants to suppress
and the defendants being the Biden administration.
Speech based on content, those are the judge's words, calling the present case, quote, arguably involves the most massive attack against free speech in the United States history, Ellie.
Yeah. The most massive attack against free speech in the history of the United States. That's what Zuckerberg and his buddies were involved in. And also with Jack Dorsey before Elon Musk bought Twitter. So all of this has now been documented, has been ruled on by a federal judge. I'm sure it's going to make its way up to the Supreme Court, where it's now out there that the government colluded with your data and your information to shut up opinion that they don't like.
It's a dramatic decision by this judge. If you read through it, he's citing to literature and George Washington and Ben Franklin. Here's what really is astonishing to me. This is a conservative ideology that clearly...
Seriously? When did freedom of speech become an ideology of either party? When did conservatives get blamed for a First Amendment right? That right has been since the 1700s, 1776 Declaration of Independence, the Constitution thereafter, saying that you have freedom of speech. And now they're saying, oh my God, I can't believe this. These people want freedom of speech. It's a conservative ideology. Us liberals here, we don't believe you could talk. We don't believe you get to see what you want to see. Everything we don't like is deemed misinformation. We need to stop these people. That's what conservatives do. We have your best interest at heart. We tell you the truth as we're lying to you in a report, calling free speech a conservative ideology. Oh my God. It's like these people don't have mirrors or fact checkers of their own. How do you call a First Amendment constitutional right an ideology of either party? That's completely insane.
It comes through in this decision. It's a conservative political ideology, right? We saw some.
It's not. I gotta believe, and I pray that there are so many people on the other side of the aisle who want to make their own decisions in life. They don't want to be governed harder by daddy. They don't want the government deciding what they can and what they can't read, who they can and can't talk to, and where they can and can't go for dinner. And you're telling me it's a conservative ideology? You don't believe in freedom of speech in America? This is incredible.
The quotes questioning vaccines, questioning masks, conservative talking points. But
what's wrong with questioning something? We question everything. Here in sports, we question who's a better quarterback, who's a better wide receiver. Should Tyreek have whacked the guy upside the head? Is Justin Herbert better than Tua Tagovailoa? You question everything. That's the basis for learning. Question everything. And what they're saying is questioning things is absolutely wrong.
The ruling itself is the opposite of judicial conservatism. This is one of the most aggressive, far-reaching rulings you'll ever see. What this judge is purporting to do is to micromanage, really, the day-to-day interactions between essentially the entire executive branch.
That's just the opposite. He calls freedom of speech micromanaging, whereas it's censorship that is micromanagement, not freedom of speech. It's just the opposite. Hey, listen, I knew when I grew up and I would go through the checkout line at the store and I'd see the Enquirer and it says two-headed Martian boy found in Chicago. I could chuckle and laugh and say, hey, that's just a rag. I knew what was and what wasn't true, possibly what's entertainment. It didn't bother me. Now I'm realizing that there probably was two-headed boys from Now I realize that there are probably two-headed Martian boys living in Chicago and that was right all along. It's insane. It's absolutely insane that they're twisting it completely around and telling you that free speech is micromanagement when it's just the opposite.
All these agencies that are listed as defendants and the leading social media companies. And in the actual temporary injunction, the judge basically says, you're not allowed, administration, to talk to these social media companies about any protected free speech except for cybersecurity threats, national security threats, criminal threats. But where's the line? Who's going to police this?
Who's going to police what? If there's a crime, sure, talk to the social media companies. If there's some people getting together to conspire to do something, to blow up a trade center, yeah, talk to people. Find out. But other than that, what do you want to police? Who's policing what you say on the air? Who's policing what you just said in this, couple-minute diatribe against free speech? So I told you this was a sports story. So let me get to why this is a sports story. You see, the liberal media is now fleeing Twitter because they want to be governed harder by daddy. They want to have different kind of viewpoints suppressed. So in addition to the liberal sports media, I'm also seeing the liberal Dolphins media doing the same thing. Now, I'm not going to name a bunch of people. I don't want to embarrass anybody, but, it just kept popping up in my feed after feed. Hey, check me out on Threads. Hey, check me out on Threads. Why? Why are you using Twitter to tell me to go check you out here? If Twitter is no good and you're leaving, just leave. It's supposed to be much better. If it's so much better, why do you need to use Twitter to promote your threads? I've been involved in social media for a long time, and I've told people for many, many people have asked me, this isn't an airport. You don't have to announce your departure. If you think it's better, just go. People will find you if they give a shit. If not, they won't. So I pulled some things here, and of course, some of the people you would expect that are quickly fleeing to Threads. So obviously the memo went out at ESPN. Hey guys, get off the Twitter. Everybody needs to go ahead and run over to Threads, because that's going to be someplace that we can control. We can control and make sure the narrative is said just as we want to say it. So, first person over, Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith says, I'm on Threads. Threads at Stephen A. Smith. He's there. Who else is there? Let's see. Diana Rossini. Hey, because I need more reasons to live on my phone, Diana Rossini over at Threads. Let's see who else is over there. Oh, Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter is now fleeing to Threads. And then here locally, I saw this and I couldn't believe it. Omar Kelly, who covers the Miami Dolphins, has fled to Threads. These people all think it's the next best thing. They won't have to deal with Elon Musk. They won't have to deal with half their audience. They're going to talk into basically a cocoon. They're going to talk to the same people who only want to hear what they have to hear. And at the same time, they don't think they're going to be subjecting their audience to any censorship. Really? Okay, then look at this right here. If Bill Gates says he is now excited to jump on Threads, I can tell you this. Wherever Bill Gates is going to be, I don't want to be. Wherever Bill Gates is going to put some money or get involved in, I don't want to be there. Do you? Because he loves it. He thinks it's going to be great. But the funny thing is, the censorship has already begun. Let me show you something here. This is pretty quick. It says Fox News showing how Zuck's new app Thread is already censoring me and other conservatives on day one. This is the warning that pops up when you try to follow me there, as he set up a dummy account so people could see. Why does Meta treat 74 plus million Americans like second-class citizens? And this was the warning that popped up on his account. This account has repeatedly posted false information that was reviewed by independent fact checkers or went against our community guidelines. So on day one, they already tell you what you can and cannot say. They already are telling you what you can or cannot see. It's only going to get worse. I don't understand it. I don't understand how you put your hand in the beehive and hope that you don't get stung. And yet at the same time, we have our liberal sports media just being the Judas goats that they are, just telling people to come along. As well as some of your favorite Dolphins YouTubers. I won't mention it because people say I'm dragging them if I show their tweets, but they're all running over there too, which is fine with me. Maybe the vitriol that's on Twitter from some of these Dolphins fans will finally end because they're all going to run over to Threads. That would be incredible. I don't understand. I don't need the government that deeply in my life. I'm a grown-ass man. I know what I want to read. I know what I don't want to read. I click on it or I don't click on it. I scroll past it or I stop. I have a brain. I don't care if you go to a drag show. I don't want little kids there. But I don't have to look at your videos. I can keep scrolling right by. Go ahead, put it up there. It doesn't bother me. I don't care if you're, just basically you love Ukraine. Just don't bother me about it. In any event, that's what's going on. I just wanted you guys to know. Talk to you soon, and watch out.